Yo, what's up, party people? Okay, I'm here. Took a long time, but you know what? I want to help out my fellow riders, so let me just get this over with really fast because it took forever to set this up. Yeah, my name is Michael Romasanta. I'm a beta reader, a ghostwriter, and an author. Okay, I've published 4 books. Let's just get this straight before we go into it. I gotta throw that out there. Bright Dreadful Sun. Okay, amazing. The Yamikage was my first book. Okay. Not Every Star in the Night was my second. So Bob Bing Bob Boom, Let It Rain. I've ghostwritten 6 books, and well, I've been part of a ghostwrite for 6 books. I beta read almost every single week for other authors. So with that being said, I've taken all the classes. What can I do to help you guys here today? Character creation. Okay. Last time we did plot structure. That was pretty fun. We love plot structure over here, people. I'm looking down over here. So I'm also a psychology major. I got a million degrees. Why not? Anyways, and you see the bird right there. That's from my new album, Seminar. But we're not here to talk about any of that stuff. Just books and you. I want to help you out here. So what do we have here? The Jungian archetypes. So the Jungian archetypes we could utilize to really enhance and elevate our characters. A lot of times people will just kind of write characters willy-nilly, just they don't know what's going on. Here's the point I'm trying to make here is that if your characters are human, okay, or if they have human-like qualities, they're going to have psychology behind the characters. So it helps to understand psychology, to write characters that people could relate to write characters that are memorable. And, sometimes it's best not to reinvent the wheel. Majority of the time, it's better to use these archetypes. Um, so we got plenty. We got plenty to choose from, and usually your characters are gonna fall into these categories regardless. So with that being said, Carl Jung, okay, psychotherapist, awesome dude. So he pioneered what a lot of people call the unconscious. So basically, what the archetypes are, you see on this chart over here. These are unconscious archetypes in our subconscious mind. These are unconscious symbols. Okay, so how do we apply that? Well, basically, the point is in here somewhere. There are basically mainline streams, rows, for example, that all these little characters in the wheel are in your head. But sometimes some come out more than others. These usually occupy a little bit more of your personality than others. So, well, how can we use this to write characters? It's really actually self explanatory. When I write my beta reads, when I give them the report and all that, this comes with it, because I really want people to kind of understand the motivations behind people's personal psychology. So go ahead, kind of look at this chart, kind of see where do my characters fit. All right. You know, a lot of time when you're writing the hero's journey, okay, you might include the hero archetype. You might include a hero that wants to become the best they can be, like me. You know what I mean? I consider myself the hero archetype because I'm always trying to master all the arts and sciences like a crazy person. But anyways, that has nothing to do with anything but this. Now, does a hero archetype and a hero character, are they synonymous? No, not necessarily, because oftentimes more than not, a hero character might not just desire to master everything. They might be thrust into the manner. So let's go through all of these really quick and yeah, really quickly. I could spend hours talking about this, but I'm not going to. Yeah. So, anyways, so the hero is a type of person. Let's go through the upper quadrant, the 1 to 3, I suppose, the 12 to 3. We'll start with the outlaw. So, these archetypes are really well embodied in Star Wars. Star Wars is not necessarily a book; it's a screen. But you know what? Han Solo is a great example of an outlaw archetype. He doesn't really have like this overall encompassing goal. He's just kind of like thrust into the story, and he seeks liberation. He just really wants to help other people. He wants to get out there, but at the same time, he's more of like a carefree, lackadaisical dude, right? So the magician archetype, you'll usually see these in like kind of like further down the X, or they start off with the character. They end up like almost like a mentor type of thing. But also at the same time, the magician can be somebody that could be a good antagonist, because they want power. They want to behold, they want to establish something, but also at the same time, they want to leave a legacy. So these characters are really ego oriented. The hero especially. Now, can your hero character be a hero? Yes. Can it be a lover? Yes. There's all types of different genres, and the point is like this is almost like octaves on a piano. Like you could basically use all these notes. You could use them all and basically kind of just create characters. Just simply off this chart. Memorize it. You can memorize it. That definitely helps. But I like to have this in almost like a separate kind of document while I'm writing the books, whether it be my books or somebody else's books. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, now we're gonna go into the characters that really want to just kind of bring other people in there. So the lover, the intimacy is that's what they want the most. They really just kind of they want to just be loved and all that. They want to kind of you'll find these characters that really kind of try to attach themselves to the hip, kind of tug at the main character's shirt a little bit. The next two characters, I love writing this little quadrant. I'm gonna call it. Sorry, Jung, but I'm gonna call it a quadrant. Um, the jester character is one of my favorite types of characters to write because they just kind of really elevate the story. They elevate the main character as just a good side character because they're adding a huge like humor dynamic to it. So that's awesome. I think Chewbacca is kind of like a little bit like that. Where he's just kind of there to just kind of kind of just make things a little bit more funny. The next one is the everyman. This is kind of like what most people's characters actually just end up falling into this category. Little weird. So double check that your characters are if they're the everyman, which is basically just kind of like everybody. Like hey, that guy is the everyman. It just doesn't really just kind of floating through life. You know what I mean? So what these characters usually do is they will latch onto the protagonist. Sometimes they'll be like their best friend. They're just really kind of there to bounce off dialogue, bounce off all this information off people. But every man could be somebody just in the background, a background side character. But I love writing down the everyman because there's so like many different roads you could go with that. But at the end of the day, they want to be part of the story. That's what they want. They just want to be part of something. And next, we're going to go into these are more of kind of like I would say they kind of how can I say this? How can I say this? They're more invasive type of characters. Like you would see a lot of antagonists probably fall into this category. So let's start with ruler. Okay, so like Darth Vader is the ruler character. He went from lover okay, to ruler. So he's the villain. Okay, of Star Wars. He wants control. He wants to make the empire. He's usually the ruler is a great archetype to include as an antagonist. The caregiver is almost like that little hero archetype a little bit. Back to Star Wars, Princess Leia is kind of like a little bit of a caregiver. She's not necessarily a hero because she doesn't want to leave a legacy. What she wants to do is kind of provide structure to the rebellion. You know what I mean? Basically, in a novel, you will find this kind of character just not necessarily evil, but more just kind of how can I say this? They're there to like really inspire people a little bit. They're trying to like help other people. And although that kind of might fall into the lower right quadrant, I suppose, not always. You could also find a lot of good antagonists as the creator archetype because they're often like mad. Like I got to do like kind of like the mad scientist a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they desire innovation at any cost. So writing these characters is very fun. The innocent character is like I don't know, like let's say Princess Peach. If you something like that, she's just there. Sometimes as a plot device. Sometimes not. You could write that character in as one of your mains if you want. It doesn't have to be a girl, for example. You got the girl pictured here. Uh, yeah, she could be great. This is great in a romance. They say explore spirituality. This is where I disagree with Carl Jung. I would rather word it as exploring self-actualization, exploring like the best you could be. But at the same time, and that's different than mastery. Mastery is more over for skill. So explore spirituality. We'll call it that, but I prefer self-actualization. Sage, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda. These are good sage archetypes. They're there to kind of teach. And this is a great archetype, especially for the hero's journey, to kind of like either meet him on the road or kind of start out with him. Merlin is a perfect one with King Arthur. Uh, King Arthur. Explorer, freedom. That could also be Han Solo a little bit. He just wants to like just kind of maybe I see a lot of this actually in fantasy fiction. There's like this big like medieval trend that I see a lot of fantasy fiction nowadays. Kind of stuck in a tower. Like I guess you could call it like Rapunzel syndrome or something. Maybe that's what I would coin it. If I was writing a paper. Rapunzel syndrome, where somebody just wants to just leave. They're just like stuck, and they're just the story starts out with them like confined, and they want to get out. Anyways, yeah, so I said I was going to keep the video short. 5 minutes was my goal. We're at 10 minutes. So subscribe and, drop the like button. Do what you got to do. Follow me on Instagram. And if you guys want some help, hit me up on Fiverr. I'm definitely more than happy to help. And I'll just help you in general if you got questions. This is not a cookie cutter thing, okay? This is kind of just a device to help you with. You know what I mean? So the guardrails on a bowling alley, you want to have them up. This is a great way to do it. You would rather have structured writing that's good and moreover, what's the word here? Moreover, I guess not reinventing the wheel. You can be innovative, go ahead, but at the same time, if it's scatterbrained and it doesn't make sense, I'd rather have a nice, good archetypal story that is written well or over than an innovative novel that makes no sense. You know what I mean? So good luck with your writing. Keep on writing. Don't stop. And yeah, keep it real. We out.